Francesca had been feeling off for days, but couldn't quite put her finger on why. She'd gone through the usual list of worries and anxieties: work stress, family issues, money troubles, but nothing seemed to fit the bill this time around. And then, one day, it hit her like a ton of bricks. An anxiety episode triggered by something seemingly innocuous yet so powerful that Francesca could not control its effects on her body or mind. The first thing she noticed was a racing heart thumping in her chest as if it were trying to break free from its confines. Next, her breathing became shallow and labored. No matter how hard she tried to draw in air, she felt suffocated and panicked simultaneously. Finally, sweat started pouring down her forehead as every single muscle contracted painfully all over her body, making movement impossible, even though part of Francesca wanted desperately to run away from whatever it was that had triggered this reaction in her system. But running away wasn't an option, not when her body was trapping her against her will in an invisible prison of fear and panic-induced paralysis. Francesca knew what those feelings meant. Anxiety had come calling again, uninvited, but undeniably present, ready to wreak havoc throughout every crevice of her mind. Now, let's jump right into this video. At one time or another, we've all experienced anxiety. Anxiety is the emotion we feel when we think we are in danger and cannot cope with a situation. Adrenaline is rushed into our bloodstream to enable us to fight or flight, or in simpler words, run away or fight. It is the body's survival mechanism. At times, anxiety can be helpful. For example, if we're crossing the street and a car approaches us at full speed, the feeling of anxiety motivates us to reach the other side of the road faster. Anxiety is the body's alarm system. There are some everyday situations in which we may feel anxious. For example, job interviews and public speaking. However, for some people, anxiety is experienced so intensely that it stops them from doing what they want to do in life. Anxiety can be triggered in the most unsuspecting situations, often without a real cause. Many individuals struggle with anxiety caused by real threats or by perceived ones. This type of fear response often manifests itself in everyday scenarios and can affect behavior regularly. Therefore, anxiety can become unbearable. I have prepared a coping with anxiety workbook, which can be found in the description section below the video or by scanning the QR code you see on your screen. So, pause the video and print it out so you can follow along. If you are unable to print, it's okay. You can follow along with a pen and paper. On the third page of the workbook, you will find the contour of a body. If you don't have a printer, get a pen and paper and draw the silhouette of a body. When you feel anxious, where do you feel it in your body? Go ahead and mark the parts of your body in which you feel anxiety. And how does it feel? For example, some people feel tension and sensations in their chest, shoulders, abdomen, and hands. The palm of their hands might start to sweat. They might feel butterfly in their stomachs, and they might experience increased heart rate, shortness of breath, or increased breathing. They could also experience dizziness or an urge to go to the bathroom. How does anxiety manifest in your body? Please write it down. Believe it or not, our thoughts are the main reason for our anxiety. When situations occur, our thoughts contribute to anxiety becoming a problem. For example, we may perceive a situation to be more harmful or dangerous than it actually is. Or we may believe a scenario to be dangerous when there isn't any danger. The way we think can trigger the fight or flight response, which can cause us to feel even more anxious. As a result, anxiety can influence our behaviors. For example, our response to a situation that causes us stress may be to avoid it. However, the issue with avoiding situations is that it prevents us from determining whether there really is a risk or danger. And if we keep avoiding situations, we will begin to limit what we do as part of our daily lives. For example, let's look at the situation on page 4 of the workbook. A friend invites you to a big work party. If your thought is number 1, the party sounds like a lot of fun. I love going out and meeting new people. Your emotions might be close to happy and excited. If your thought is number 2, parties aren't my thing. I'd much rather stay in and watch a movie. You might feel indifferent. But if your thought is number 3, I never know what to say or do at parties. I'll make a fool of myself if I go. You will most likely feel anxious and sad and end up avoiding going to the party altogether. And who knows what kind of opportunity you might miss. Let's break down the anxiety-provoking thought number 3 even further. The thought is, I never know what to say or do at parties. I'll make a fool of myself if I go. Your thought expresses the possibility of something going wrong. You're seeing the worst case scenario and are afraid that something awful would happen. Consequently, you feel anxious, sad, nervous, and on edge, and dread going to the party. Your physical response is probably to sweat and tremble, and your consequent behavior is to avoid going to the party altogether in an attempt to protect yourself. As you can see, the same event can lead to entirely different thoughts and emotions in different people. It all depends on our individual expectations, attitudes, and beliefs. In people with anxiety disorders, negative ways of thinking fuel the negative emotions of anxiety and fear. The goal is to identify and correct these negative thoughts and beliefs. If you change how you think, you can change how you feel. The following are some common negative thinking patterns. All or nothing. For example, if this date isn't successful, I'll be single forever. Overgeneralizing. I've been bad at every single job I've had. Have you really? Personalizing. It's all my fault. Mind reading. All my friends or co-workers or family members think I'm stupid. Jumping to conclusions. My boss doesn't look happy. She must be about to fire me. Catastrophizing. This is going to be a terrible day. Disqualifying the positive. They have to say nice things about me because they are my friends, but they don't mean them. Should, must, ought to. For example, I should be a better son or daughter. When you experience negative thoughts, you need to pause and take some deep breaths to help regulate your body's reactions. Next, it is essential to challenge your thoughts whenever you find yourself thinking this way. Some questions you can ask yourself are, is there evidence against my thoughts? What would a rational friend or family member say about my thoughts? Will this thought matter 6 months or a year from now? Is this thought helpful or is it causing me stress? Am I exaggerating? Am I worrying about something I cannot control? Now, let's look at pages 5 through 8 and break down your anxiety. First question, what is triggering your anxiety today? Write down what is making you anxious right now, or think about something that made you anxious recently. That way, you'll be better able to control your anxiety if the situation happens again. I will follow along using the party example I introduced earlier. What triggers my anxiety is that a friend invited me to a big work party, and I will probably be alone with a bunch of new people while my friend is busy talking to her coworkers or mingling with the crowd. Now, identify the negative beliefs about yourself and the situation. What are some of the thoughts that you are having? I think that I will make a fool of myself, that I will feel out of place because I don't belong around these successful people. And what if I say the wrong things, or what if I trip? Why not? How is your body responding? I start to sweat, tremble, and get a little dizzy. What is the worst thing that can happen? That I trip and I could say the wrong things. I really want you to think about this one. Of course, I'm assuming that these things could happen, but let's follow along. What do I have in my control to keep this from happening? Probably not going to the party at all, but I could miss out on opportunities. What can I do to calm my body down? Breathing exercises, challenge the negative thought by developing a balanced thought. Am I exaggerating? Yes, I probably am. Why am I assuming that I will trip or say the wrong things? Instead, I will walk carefully, wear comfortable shoes, and ask my friend what the theme or subject of this work party is so I can prepare myself in advance. See, you did it. It is essential to break down what makes you anxious. It could also be helpful to imagine yourself in situations that made you feel anxious in the past. Break the anxiety down and see the situation through completion. This will help you if the situation arises again. Something else that is helpful is what you see on page 9, where I talk about creating an affirmation card that you can carry in your purse or wallet. Then whenever you feel anxious, you can look at the affirmation card and reflect on the affirmation that can help you deal with anxious feelings. Some examples of helpful affirmations are telling yourself, I am calm, I can get through this, I am not in danger, I am just uncomfortable, and breathe. There you have it. We went through what you can do when anxiety hits. I hope you found this information and tools helpful. Everything new that you try and any new habit you start takes time. It might be challenging initially, but keep at it. It will improve. Remember that occasional anxiety is common, normal, and sometimes helpful. However, you should seek treatment if you constantly experience worry, fear, or dread. Likewise, if anxiety is disrupting your daily life, seek help. A mental health specialist can help you explore the tools and knowledge you need to ease your symptoms and help you cope with your anxiety. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by subscribing, liking this video, and leaving a comment below. Thank you for watching and take care.